What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Live show number 2 of the week for Super Bowl 58. We appreciate you joining us. I'm your host, Jace Anderson. Listen, I know that y'all are excited for today's show, so let's put that excitement into the chat. And as per the usual, who you got? KCSF. We got Super Bowl 58 coming up in just under 4 days now. Type KC for the Chiefs, type SF for the Niners. We all know the KCs are in the chat. We got 46 people watching, which means I need 46 KCs. We got Riston Costner, Tony Fuentes, Purple Labrador, LCJ Cole is in the chat, spamming the KC. Lisa Cheney says, go Chiefs. Cole Kelleher in there. Dakota Murphy, whoa, there's an SF. Everybody stop. We need all KCs right now. There should be not a singular SF. Dakota Murphy, man. Oh, man. Oh, sexy Jace Swift. What's up, Lennon? Got a nice profile photo I see there. Leslie Hazelwood saying take KC. One day off prospecting saying KC. Rod Mitchell, Mouse, we got Riston, we got LCJ Cole, we got Jan Rockefeller, we got Gilbert Shaw hanging out with us today. Hit that like button if you're excited for Super Bowl 58. We got almost 60 people watching, so hit that like button right now. I should see 60 likes. And while you're doing that, make sure you shout out your city in the chat as well. We got the KCs rolling. I want to know where my Chiefs Kingdom people are because I know that. There we go. Okay, Dakota Murphy said just KC. There we go. There we go, Dakota. There we go, Dakota. I was going to have to kick you off the stream there for a second. I was going to have to kick you off. Luckily, I don't have to. Jan Rockefeller saying at Kansas City, L40 Winers. That's what they are. About to see Chiefs parade outfit. Oh, I'm ready, Lennon. I'm ready. Jan from KC, Missouri. One day off prospecting saying Castic, California? I don't know if that's right. I got to be honest. Purple Labrador from Usler County. Tony Fuentes from El Paso. Ray Jackson. KC from Omaha. Let's go. Mike Zeff from Independent. Tony Fuentes putting the El Paso in there. Patrick McLaughlin, Wichita, Kansas. How about those? Chiefs! Cole Kelleher. Was at Walmart? Saw somebody in a Niners shirt? Hope you boot him. Wayne Thomas from St. Joseph. Let's go. Sam saying KC all the way. LCJ Cole from Illinois, Stoughton. And then we got Blue Mans from Mandan, North Dakota. I've actually been near Mandan. Is that how you say it, though? I believe that. I don't know. I remember it having a really weird way to say it. Jeff Unraw from Houston, Texas. Riston Costner from North Carolina. Mouse saying Fresno. Red Beard the Trucker from Springfield, Missouri. We love it. Cole Kelleher saying at what side of town? West side here. Oh, nice. Got a little conversation going. Benjamin Newell. Jace is the best chat sports. I appreciate it, man. I will say this. I may be the best chat sports host for y'all, but I know a better host, actually. I know somebody who would be better at hosting the Chiefs Report than me. And he's, let's just say, different. Maybe we can get him on the show here recently. Here for my
You have a very physical running style, but you have the speed to get to the outside and breakaway speed as well. Right now and growing up, which running backs did you emulate your game after?
None of them. I'm different. Shout out to my OGs, though. AP, Big Bro, always show love on the FaceTime calls when I connected, reached out to him. Just love, Big Bro, always.
I want everybody to just spam the chat right now with different because that's what Pacheco is. He is different, and if you spam it in the chat, you're getting a shout-out here on the show. So I need you to spam different in the chat right now because that's exactly what Isaiah Pacheco is. I think he put that in the perfect possible way. Spam different. Let's go. We got Purple Labrador spamming different. Jan Rockefeller spamming different. LCJ Cole, Tony Fuentes, Michael Dinwiddie, Captain Freedom. Purple Labrador, what a dog. Riston Costner, Jan Rockefeller, Benjamin Newell, Jeff Unraw, Tony Fuentes, Akeel, Jason Heim from Dickinson, North Dakota, go Chiefs. Jan, Red Beard the Trucker, Jace Swift, Lennon, Wayne Thompson, Timon, LCJ Cole. Man, Pacheco is different. And if you want to be different, Well, check out Game Time, and you can get $100 off the big game ticket you're going to watch the Chiefs in Vegas. $100 is a lot of money to spend in Vegas. I could really tell you right now, it could be a lot more than $100. Now, if you don't know what Game Time is, it's the super easy way to get your tickets for not just sports, but they've got music, they've got comedy, they've got theater events, all in your area, and with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time is going to take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Now, obviously, Chiefs have the one game left, but good news is the Royals, they're coming up as Bobby Witt Jr. leading that team with Salvador Perez. A lot of young faces, a lot of fun things to go see, so you can go check them out at Kauffman Stadium, taking on the Twins on opening day. Guess what? Tickets aren't that bad right now, and you can get $20 off your first purchase by using code CHIEFSCHAT. That's CHIEFSCHAT, $20 off your first purchase. But again, if you're headed to Vegas this weekend and you want to get $100 off the big game, I'm telling you, a lot of things you can do with $100 in Vegas. Use code VEGAS100. They've got last-minute ticket deals. They got flash deals. They got zone deals. I'm telling you, you're not going to find a better ticketing app in all the land. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. And right now, again, all Game Time users can get $100 off a big game ticket with code VEGAS100. Terms apply. Just download the Game Time app and use code VEGAS100 for $100 off a big game ticket. Or if you're not going to the game, that's okay. We still got a code for you. Use code CHIEFSCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed. And hey, I know, not all of us can go to the big game, but you can still make money off the big game with Prize Picks because it's a skill-based, real money daily fantasy sports game. And you can turn $10 into $250. I'm 6 in my last 8. Go right now, prizepicks.com/CLNS, and use the code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. Put this in. I'm telling you, you're going to make your money back double fold. I'm 6 in my last 8. Like I said, this is going to hit. I promise you. Mahomes, more than a half a passing yard. He has done this all the time, and it's a 99% discount. Half passing yard, come on. We know what this is. Isaiah Pacheco scored a touchdown in every single postseason game thus far. I expect him to do it again in the Super Bowl. More than half a rushing or receiving touchdown for Pop. And then Christian McCaffrey. Receiving backs have really shredded the Chiefs' defense this year. I'm expecting him to have a good game in that facet. 35.5 receiving yards is all he has to get. I'm going to go the more on that. Prize Picks also offers a reboot policy so that even if one of your players gets injured, the entry still stays in place. There are football games. If you have a player who exits in the first half and then does not return in the second, that player is then rebooted. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types. That's what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS for our first deposit match of up to $100. Let's go. We'll be live for Super Bowl 58 right here on the Chiefs Sport. 3:30 p.m. Central Time is what we're going with. So make sure you're liking this video if you're going to join us on that week. Let's go. Let's go. LCJ, you're one of my favorites. I've got a lot of favorites, man. Tyler, I have used Game Time. I actually used it back. Actually, the first time I used it was for a baseball game. So go check it out for Royals. There you go. Jack bought a World Series ticket. I mean, I'm telling you. They got everything, bro. Tony Fuentes liking the video. Let's go. Lisa Cheney says she's different. LBK, that says different. I love it. I love it. Who's joining us? Who's joining us this Sunday? Who's going to be joining us here on the Chiefs Report? I promise you, we're going to have a fun time. Giveaways, super chat fun times. It's going to be a good time. I know Tony Fuentes is going to be there for sure. Oh, I love you too, DRG, man. Appreciate you. Glad you're hanging out with us. I'm glad you're here. Riston Costner, start to finish. Jan Rockefeller says to me, speaking of Jan Rockefeller, why don't we give a little update on the whole MVP Super Chat stuff we're doing here for the month of February, because I think that Jan is on top. So here's our Super Chat menu as we have a custom Chiefs chat for anybody who Super Chats. That's our Tuesday deal. Obviously, in the regular season and when the games, it's been first-time Super Chatters. This time, it's any Super Chat. $10 you can get on the Mahomes jersey raffle. That is a Mahomes Super Bowl 58 jersey raffle. $20 to get on the Chiefs Hall of Fame ball. And then MVP is going to win some custom Chiefs gear, which is Jan right now. And or actually, it's not Jan right now. She's close, but she is not there right now. And our deal of the day, our Chiefs Hall of Fame ball. Again, still don't have it here yet, but I'm going to make a deal. $10 you're going to get on the Hall of Fame ball. This is a deal that only is going to be on today for the entire month. It's going to be $20 the rest of the month. So if you want to get on the Chiefs Hall of Fame ball, $10, we can put you on there when we get it upcoming this weekend. But as of right now, it's going to be $20 for the rest of the year. So $10 to get on that Chiefs Hall of Fame ball. And then Jan, the MVP race. Wallace Stone has you right now at 110. Rockefeller, Jan, you're right behind him at 90. Jay Berg at 30. And Mason at $10. So right now, Wallace Stone not only has 22 entries to the Mahomes raffle, he also is the leader for the Custom Chiefs shirt and the Custom Chiefs water bottle. Telling you, it's a good deal. So, Jan, if you want to kind of bump in here, try and take your lead back, that's the way to do it. But, hey, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I will ask this question, though. Would you like Eric Bieniemy to return to Kansas City in 2024? I know that we're going to talk about that later on the show, but I'm kind of curious. Do you want to see Eric Bieniemy back with the Kansas City Chiefs? Tony Fuentes says why. LCJ says why. Tony Fuentes, Purple Labrador. Cole Kelher, DRG, Riston Coster, Joe Rogers, Tony Fuentes. Ivan and Serenity of Enter saying yes. Jason Heim says bring them back. Jason, how do you register for them? What do you mean? Like super chat stuff? It's a little money dollar sign below. That's how we kind of get all this stuff in there. Tony Fuentes saying, please. Conflo saying, no, not now. Well, correct. I think next season. LCJ Cole says, dub. Shad Jameson says, yes. Jan saying, yes. Jason Heim saying, yes. It's a very resounding yes. Very resounding yes. Carl Bailey also saying why. 40-plus points again. Wayne Thompson saying, yes. EB return. That'd be awesome. That'd be freaking awesome. I'm excited. Don't know why he has hated. He was a great OC. He wasn't. It's because he's tough. He yells, which we'll talk about in the show later on today. He is he's a tough coach, which, in my opinion, if you're in the NFL, Jan Rockefeller with a $50 super chat. Let's go, Jan! Jan takes back the lead, gets herself 5 more entries, and takes back the lead from Wallace Stone for the Chiefs MVP item of February, the Custom Chiefs shirt, the Custom Chiefs water bottle. Let's go, Jan. Let's go, Jan. LCJ Cole, I don't feel lonely. I have Jack with me here. Sam is my usual producer, but he's got his boots on the ground in Vegas. But let's shout out to Jan. Let's shout out to Jan. Yeah. No, I produce myself, Jack. I'm self-producing this. That's how it works. Let's go, Jan. All right. Hey, look at that. There you go. That's how you know that we got Jack, because he just updated it real quick. $140 for Jan. You're on top by $30. Wallace Stone. I don't know if you're here, man, but yeah, you just dropped below. You just dropped below. So, man, it's gonna be a fun race in here in February. Shout out to Jan Rockefeller. Shout out to Wallace Stone. Jan, you're in the lead, and that's 5 entries for the Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl jersey as well. I believe she is up to, what's that maker? 23? 23 entries for Jan Rockefeller. Let's freaking go. Let's go. Spam Jan in the chat. You can also get a question in on today's show using hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. We're going to talk all today with pretty much any answer you want. We're going to do a couple of different shows. We're going to have some exclusive interviews for you. We're going to have Where did you find that headshot, Jack? That's his headshot? I have never seen him with, like, those goggles on. Anyway, I did not realize that. Anyway, all right, well, that took me for a loop. I've been using a different headshot, I think, when I put him on the show. It doesn't matter. I like this one better. We're going to do exclusive interviews, talk about the latest and what we heard from our interviews with the Chiefs players and the Niners players yesterday. Got some of those, a lot of that. Eric Bieniemy, going to talk about his returning. We're also going to have a bunch of stuff where we can kind of answer questions throughout the show. So always use hashtag Chiefs. We can always answer some questions and just kind of chop it up with y'all. That's kind of what we're here for. We want to have fun. So we're going to talk a lot about the Chiefs and Niners. I mean, that's what you're here for, right? We're going to talk about Super Bowl 58. So think we're about ready to go to this first part, exclusive interviews. But shout out to Jan, all the people typing Jan, Carl Bailey, Riston Coster, Ty Man, the Buckeye, spamming the Jans, DRG spamming Jan. I love to see it. LCJ Cole, we appreciate y'all. Man, it's a good time. All right, well, let's get to our first segment of the day, which is some more exclusive interviews and kind of a little bit of a mini preview on this Super Bowl 58. But it's not me previewing it. It's the players, which is what exactly you're going to want to see. Let's get into it right here. The GOAT and Mr. Irrelevant. That's our quarterback matchup for Super Bowl 58. And today, we're going to give you the latest news and rumors and a little bit of a preview for Super Bowl 58. But it's not going to be me who talks the preview. It's going to be the players. We've got interviews. We've got video clips. We've got everything from Super Bowl media days. And it's these players talking about their opponent ahead. We have it all right here on the Chiefs Report. And it's exclusively here. You're not going to find this content anywhere else on YouTube. Nowhere. So you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button. We're also going to be live for the Super Bowl here this upcoming Sunday. We're going to be live 2 hours before game time. So 3:30 p.m. Central Time. We'll be live. So hit that sub button so make sure you can join us here. It's going to be me. It's going to be Sam. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have super chat giveaways. We're going to have fun time. Ronald's going to throw in there. It's going to have Jan Rockefeller hanging out with us. We're going to have a ton of fun people and amazing time. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and joining us because we're going to have play-by-play, updates, all you could want for Super Bowl 58. All right, let's talk about the Chiefs' opponent, the 49ers, coming in here in what is a rematch of Super Bowl 54. Now, obviously, these two teams a lot different. The one difference for the Niners that's not on the Chiefs is the quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo is no longer the quarterback in the Niners. It's Brock Purdy, and that's where the offense starts, that's where the offense ends. And ultimately, there's a lot of talk about if Brock Purdy is a game manager, if he is a game changer, if he is actually good, if it's Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Jawan Jennings, and all the weapons they have, and that's what makes Brock Purdy so good. Well, here's the thing. I think it's a combination. I think Brock Purdy is good. I think the weapons help. But ultimately, you got to treat this guy like a top 2 quarterback. And guess what? That's the Chiefs' defense is doing. Drew Tranquill talked about Brock Purdy in his most recent interview yesterday.
I know Steve said all you have to do, turn on the tape. Brock Purdy's not a game manager. He's a game changer. What's kind of stood out to you about Brock Purdy and what he's been able to do in his first full season as a starter?
Yeah, it's wild. He's only in year 2. I don't know how he got the idea or the tag game manager. You look last week, he just finds ways to win. I think if you look at his record, he's probably off to one of the hottest starts any quarterback's ever gotten off to in the National Football League. He finds ways to win, whether it's with his arms. You look last week, I think he had 54 yards on the ground and extending plays. He's a really, really good quarterback. He's going to be a challenge.
He might not have a bazooka like Patrick Mahomes, but what are the difficulties with having to cover against a quarterback who has touch and accuracy to throw at that second and third level like him?
Well, he's got a great arm as well. He can throw the ball outside. He can throw it deep. He can throw it over the middle. I think of that third down. It might have been first down, but he rolled out and threw the use check on the sideline and kind of toe tapped it. But throwing across his body at different arm angles. He's very talented in some regard.
Thanks, sure.
I think the way Tranquill spoke about Brock Purdy is perfectly right. He has a ton of talent, and he knows what he's doing with the football. But, again, if you can treat Brock Purdy like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, then you play like that. This Chiefs defense can make him look like a bottom 5 quarterback in the NFL. We saw that with Lamar Jackson. Not that he had a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, but still, they limited him to what is really his worst game of the season. That's the MVP of the National Football League that they limited to his worst game in the playoffs in a critical situation. Overall, I think if the Chiefs defense goes in here with that same mindset Tranquill talked about of, listen, we have to respect him. You have to go in there and kind of talk about how good this guy's done. He's a second-year guy, and he's playing this well. Treat him like a top 5 quarterback, then maybe you can make him look like a bottom 5 quarterback. I do want to go back to the point, though, that Brock Purdy is great, but I still think that the weapons are going to be key. And stopping those are going to be important for the defense, and I think that's going to start really up front. Obviously, protection is key, so if you can make Brock Purdy go a little bit out of the pocket, it's going to help. But McCaffrey, he's one of those running backs where he's going to go the outside, he's going to go inside, he's going to run all over the place. And you also have Deebo Samuel. This defensive line is going to have to set the tone early and often. And George Karlaftis, who is a key member, especially with Charles Omenihu out, talked about what these weapons do and the challenges it present to the Chiefs defense.
When you face an elite offense like that, every single person's got to focus on their 111, doing their responsibility with whatever Coach Max calls, and everything else will take care of itself.
He said it perfectly. The weapons he has around him is really, really key. Now, obviously, that's the part to a substantial offense. You're going to have a lot of weapons. I mean, in some ways, people talk about the way Patrick Mahomes has played, and, early in his career, it was because of Tyreek Hill, it was because of this. He's proven that all wrong. Won a Super Bowl without Tyreek. Now it's this year. He has just had no wide receivers until Rashee Rice, really until week 8 or 9, when he finally got the freedom that he has been given for the rest of the season. It's just one of those things. If we haven't seen Brock Purdy without those weapons, that's always going to play a key role in the Super Bowl, but I think that's also why the talk of is he a game manager or is he a game changer type will come into question. We'll all see it, though, on Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm kind of interested to see. The Chiefs' defense has been impressive this season, to say the least. I asked this question. Will the 49ers score more than 21 points in Super Bowl 58? Just want to give some backstory on this. They have scored 20 points against the Chiefs in Super Bowl 50. That was with Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously. And then in this postseason, 7 points against the Ravens, who were a really, really good offense. And the Dolphins held them under 21 as well. So I'm curious to see what you think. Will the 49ers score more than 21 points in Super Bowl 58? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I hope to see a lot of ins in the chat. I will say this, if they do score that, well, may as well go watch them go score or not score, and you can get $100 off the big game ticket by going to Game Time and using code VEGAS100. It's a special deal that Game Time's promoting, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of things you could do with an extra $100 in your pocket in Vegas. You can put it all on red. You can give yourself a good dinner. There's a lot of things you could do with that extra $100. Now, Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets, not just for sports, but they've got music, they've got comedy, and they've got theater events. And with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, and views from your seat, their best price guarantee, make sure that they take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Again, you can get $100 off the big game ticket by using code VEGAS100. But if you're not looking for that, you still want to get some money off, well, guess what? Right now you go in, you put Chiefs Chat into the redeem code section after downloading the app and creating an account. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Why not use it on the Royals? Exciting young team. Bobby Witt Jr. gets the big contract. Kauffman Stadium's a beautiful park. And I'm telling you, baseball, it's America's pastime, or at least that's what everybody calls it. So why don't you go check it out? Opening day against the Minnesota Twins is right around the corner, and you can use code ChiefsChat to get $20 off your first purchase. Again, you can also get $100 off the big game ticket by using code VEGAS100. And again, $100 is a lot of money in Vegas. In some ways, you could maybe make that into $1,000 just by using that $100. Now, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. And like I said, right now, all Game Time users can get that $100 off the big game ticket with code VEGAS100. Terms apply. Just download the Game Time app and use code VEGAS100 for $100 off a big game ticket. Or if you're not going to the game, that's fine. We still got a code. Chiefs Chat, CHIEFSCHAT, for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, the lowest price guaranteed. All right, stopping this offense is going to be key, and I think the real, mantra to this whole 49ers team is their versatility and the way that they have a top-tier fullback. They have a top-tier wide receiver. They have a top-tier running back. They have a top-tier offensive line. They just can hurt you in so many different ways, and they know that. I mean, Kyle Juszczyk talked about it yesterday, that this team is really versatile that the Chiefs are going to have to go up against.
In order to be, I feel like, truly the best at your position, it's about being able to play your position at a very high level, but also being able to play other positions at a very high level. And I think his ability to catch the ball, to legitimately, he's played wide receiver on third downs. I think that is what makes him so difficult to defend. And same with all the other skilled players on our team, with Deebo being able to play running back, with me being able to play tight end, with George being able to play fullback or receiver, all that sort of stuff. I think that's what makes guys truly the best at their positions.
Now, you kind of heard it in the way he conveyed that in his tone, but overall, the team that the Niners have put together, well, they have confidence in themselves. They know that they're going to have each other's back, and it's not just a offensive-minded team. It's not the versatility of the offense. It's the versatility of the entire team. And Juszczyk kind of talked about how this team has really just all come together, including some trades. I mean, they traded for Chase Young, who, effort or no effort, is still one of the top defensive linemen in the National Football League when he wants to be. And he even knows. I mean, he's been around Brock Purdy for less than an entire season, and yet he still knows that Purdy is a pretty good quarterback. And as much as people want to sit here and say, oh, it's because of his weapons, you still have to give credit where credit is due. And, well, Chase Young talks about his quarterback and really how much he can change the game, to be honest.
You appreciate about Brock's competitive spirit and being a leader on this team?
Yeah, man. Brock, he's just a great guy. I think the nicest guy in our locker room has to be a man of faith. He walks around proud, confident at all times. I feel like he's the best in the league, man. Definitely glad to have a leader like that. To come in the locker room and just, watch how he carries himself every day. It's QB1 for sure.
Now, Chase Young, obviously the confidence is key. He trusts in Brock Purdy, and he said a lot of positive things about him. But I think both teams also know that there are challenges in this game. There's going to be challenges to facing a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. And Mahomes is not like Brock Purdy. He's the GOAT. He's proven. He's been here multiple times. He's calm, collective. Not that Brock Purdy isn't, but it's just a different vibe. I've seen it a lot. What if Brock Purdy cracks under the lights? We could have seen that at a lot of different times. I don't know if that will happen, but I still think that there is a difference in Brock Purdy and the way the Chiefs defense is having to prepare for him, and Patrick Mahomes and how the Niners defense is having to prepare for him. Now, Chase Young obviously talked about Purdy, but he also talked about Mahomes in a positive light and kind of what exactly he sees from what, in my opinion, will be the GOAT QB.
Year in and year out, he always ends up at this game, and it's for a reason. It's how those guys execute and handle business. So, all praise to Patrick. We're going to do our best to stop him.
Obviously a little smaller of a quote there because, well, you're talking about your opponent. You're trying to kind of dim it down in some way. So talk a lot about Purdy, talk a little bit less about your opponent. I do have this question, though, as the challenges are there. What's Mahomes going to play like in Super Bowl 58 against a very talented 49ers defense? I mean, you've got guys like Chase Young. You've got guys like Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Greenlaw, Eric Armstead. There's just so much to kind of go around on this team that I almost think like Mahomes is going to play well because he is up for the challenge. We've seen it all year. When the bright lights turn on, Mahomes gets better, which we'll see if that's the case for Brock Purdy. But I want you to go down in the comment section and predict Mahomes' stat line for Super Bowl 58 against the San Francisco 49ers. By the way, make sure you hit that sub button because we got more exclusive interviews all week long. We're going to have another live show tomorrow. And I'm telling you, it's not just the offense we're going to talk about. We've got to talk about the Chiefs' defense and really give them credit to, honestly, getting the Chiefs here. I think we know that they are the reason the Chiefs have gotten the Super Bowl. And defense wins championships. I think this is true in this point. You've never faced an offense like this one, though, with so many weapons. You could talk about the Ravens. They have Flowers. They have Mark Andrews, although it was his first game back. They have Lamar. But I don't think there's a single team in the National Football League that has the number one running back, that has a top 5 wide receiver. And the wide receiver 2, I would say, is the best wide receiver 2 in the National Football League, whoever that may be. I don't know if it's Debo. I don't know if it's Ayuk. They're both really good. George Kittle's a top 5 tight end. And Brock Purdy, like it or not, his stats show him as a top 5 quarterback. The offensive line is great. Everything on this team is really good. And so it's really going to be key to stop the big chunk plays. And the defense has done really well about this all year. But again, this is a different team. And so I think that with Justin Reid and kind of, I'm not going to say the helm of the defense, but really kind of the veteran, the safety area. You got Shamari Connor, obviously Brian Cook, and Mike Edwards, who just came out of the Chiefs this year. I'm curious to see what Justin Reid has to say about how basically this Chiefs team really kind of dials in to stop the big plays, which they did against the Ravens with just that one Zay Flowers catch that ended up being a taunting penalty. Justin Reid was asked about this. Here's what he said.
Confidence in yourself when your number is called, confidence in the system, to just go out and execute and believe it. Confidence in your teammates that when they're supposed to have your back in the coverage, that they're going to be there to have your back so that you can go out and execute your responsibility better. Chamari's been great for us all season, special young talent. And Vichy just does such a great job finding these guys, man, because they come in and they make big plays for us when we need them.
About that young secondary, because last year it was Joshua Williams, it was Jalen Watson, it was obviously Trent McDuffie. Now you got Shamari, Brian Cook started to come into his own as well. What is it about I don't know if it's the scouting, the coaching, what it is to be able to unearth that young talent?
It's a little bit of all of the above. It's the scouting to find the talent, first and foremost, find the right guys for the locker room, guys that are going to buy into the system, that are humble, hard workers, willing tacklers, and can pick up the playbook. And then secondly, it's just the system, the culture that we built here, that we trust in each other. And, we have belief that when we're on that field, that as long as we have each other's back, man, we can go out and accomplish anything that we put our minds to. So anytime Chamari's on the field, I have the utmost confidence that he's going to go out and make every play that is presented in front of him.
The confidence Justin Reid has. I want that. Shout out to Sam, by the way, for the awesome question. Justin getting a really good answer. And overall, that just kind of gets me pumped for this game because they know this is a good matchup. They know it's going to be a tough game, but that's exactly why it's the Super Bowl. You're not going to ask for anything less than a good matchup. Now, if you can't wait for Super Bowl Sunday, it's Wednesday now if you're watching it on Wednesday. Whatever it is, we're close. We're within a week. So go down there, hit that like button because I am super, super pumped. I cannot wait for Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to be live right here on the Chiefs Sport, 3:30 p.m. Central Time. So make sure you're joining us. You can do that by hitting that subscribe button, and that way you're going to get a little bit of an easier path to our channel. On top of which, you hit the bell. You're going to get notified 30 minutes before we go live. But for now, if you're excited, hit that like button. And as always, Chiefs Kingdom, peace out. Nice. Nice. Very nice. Very nice, guys. Brock Purdy. Manager, changer. What is he? I like all the likes, by the way. Time Man, Demon Angels, Tony Fuentes. What's up, LCJ Cole? Jan Rockefeller. Legend. Manager from Bennington. Game changer, game manager. Tony Fuentes saying changer. Time Man saying manager. Demon saying manager. He's a left bench. Jeff Unraw. Changer. Tony saying changer. Rister Coster manager. Jan Rockefeller saying manager. I think he's in between. I don't know if he's a game changer. I don't think he's a game manager, though. Like, he is very good at the game of football. I think he's really helped by his people around him. But I also am kind of curious because, listen, he's still a kid. Like, this is his second year in the league. I talk about it. Isaiah Pacheco is also second year in the league, which that does kind of piss me off in some ways. Brock Purdy is this Mr. Irrelevant, greatest guy ever. And then Isaiah Pacheco, who was 11 picks before him, is rarely talked about as a late-round draft pick. He's just talked about as good. But it's just because Purdy's a quarterback. That's all it is. I agree to Angels. Brock Purdy is decent, but Patrick Mahomes is way better. That's exactly what it is. I think Brock Purdy is a above-average quarterback. I would rank him in the top 10, maybe number 10, though. Like, that's all I would do. I think I could name 10 quarterbacks way better than him. So, Brock Purdy is exactly that Mr. Irrelevant. It's only second year in the league. I know it's his only second year in the league. I'm not saying, like, it's crazy. But, and I got to give respect is due. He's done great with what he's been given. But at the same time, I think the reason people don't like him, it's funny because as an underdog, you would think people would want him to win. But everybody doesn't think that Purdy deserves it. They just kind of see these screen passes. They just kind of see basically like little things of the game. They don't see his deep passes. Although, I don't know. I'm kind of a hater myself because that deep pass to Brandon Ayuk was a dud. And who was that had bounce off his helmet in that Lions game? Kendall. What's his last name? Kendall Vildor. I don't even know who that guy is, but Chicago Bears legend. All right. Well, he sucks. So that should not have been caught. That was a horrible deep pass. A lot of the deep passes he throws are very much like underthrown, but the receiver makes up for it. That's just my opinion. I don't know. There's too much. I agree. There's too much hype on Brock Purdy. I think he's good, but good grief, there's just too much. Like, dial it back just a tad. Dial it back, and I think I would respect him a lot more. Let's take a look at this MVP race. We got Jan Rockefeller still leading the charge at 140. Wallace Stone right behind him, or her rather, at 110. He's got 22 raffle entries. Jan has 23 raffle entries, so she's the favorite. Jay Berg, he's got 6 raffle entries due to our deal yesterday, and he's on the MVP race at $30. And then Mason, $10. He's got 2 raffle entries for that Chiefs Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl jersey. Let's go. You want to look at our Super Chat menu? Here's what we got for today, and our deal of the day is $10 to get on the Hall of Fame ball. I should have brought it in here. Jack, do you mind going to get that football again so I can give a little preview of what it's going to look like? I don't have it yet. It should be coming in pretty soon. Talked to the bosses. It said, unfortunately, just a little slow on the shipping. All right, though. $20, though, you get it on the Hall of Fame ball. Today, it's $10. $10, you get a raffle entry and on the Hall of Fame ball. So, pretty good deal right there. Jan gets on the ball. She gets 5 more raffle entries, and she's the leader of the MVP race to get that custom Chiefs shirt and custom Chiefs water bottle. It's going to be a good time. Go. Here's what this custom MVP ball is going to look like. This is not the one. We're using this one for the Super Bowl, but we're getting one just like it. Nice. We're going to put your names all around it, all over here. We're using this one for the Super Bowl, so make sure you join us on Sunday, 3:30 East or Central Time. You can get your name on here, and I think we'll auction this off next Tuesday on our live show. That's my thought. Don't know for sure. Maybe do it on the Super Bowl game. So make sure you're joining us for the Super Bowl as well, because we could auction it off there. But if you want to get on here, it's on you. Chief support. And be careful. You may want to join us tomorrow, because I may make the deal of the day something with this. We'll see. We'll see. But, yeah, deal of the day, $10 to get on the Hall of Fame Bowl. Not this one. We're going to hit another one for our February challenge. So, look at this, though. That's freaking cool. That's freaking cool. Anyways, appreciate y'all. We do have some more audio clips to go through, so I'm kind of curious for y'all. Obviously, we're here for you. We got a bunch of clips. I want to know what you want to listen to, because that's the whole point. Who do you want to hear from next? Drew Tranquil, type D, or Chris Jones, type C? We didn't have any Chris Jones yesterday, did we? We only had Karloftis, at least on the show. So if you want to hear from Chris Jones, type C. You want to hear from Drew Tranquil, type D. We've got a bunch of clips. We've got some C's rolling in. Oh, lots of C's. Tony, LCJ, Demon Angel, Riston Costner, LBK saying C, Jan Rockefeller saying C. Resounding C. A resounding C here for Mr. Chris Jones. Kind of what I expected. Let's go. Let's go. Gotta communicate this. Let's get a good one for Chiefs Kingdom. Let's get a good one if my Dropbox will load. Let's get a good one. Ooh, do that one about him being the who's the smartest. I thought that was a good one. I put it on Twitter, which, by the way, follow me on Twitter. A lot of these clips are getting posted on there first. So if you want to go see that. But this one actually was pretty popular one on Twitter. Chris Jones talking about who the smartest player is on the defense.
Me? Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton is pretty smart. Then I would go with Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed. It's like an even 3.
I love it. Anybody else? We got a Drew Tranquil going on. Why don't we do the whole Drew clip again? I feel like that was just his. Which one do you have? Oh, well, just do, we already saw the Brock Purdy one. Do the 49ers defense. I actually meant to put that on the show and decided not to, so. We can do the yeah, that's what I meant. Nice. All right, we're going to talk here. We got Drew Tranquil. If you saw us yesterday, we're going to be a little bit of a nice little refresher of what the 49ers offense brings and how this Chiefs defense plans to stop them.
Kyle Shanahan's looked at as a very innovative, creative offensive mind, and they have a bevy of weapons from Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey, and Brock Purdy really likes to target the middle area of the field. What types of challenges does the Niners offense present your defense?
Well, I think to put it simply, they do a really good job of marrying their run plays to their pass plays. Specifically, the linebacker position, it's very hard to see the difference between a run play and then the same play action off of that. They're able to get guys biting in the run game, and Brock does a great job of getting the ball downfield to those playmakers. I think one of the biggest challenging things that they do well, too, is just their run after the catch. Across the board, you look at Christian, you look at George, you mentioned Ayuk, Deebo, Juszczyk, Jennings. Ray McLeod. Like they've got a lot of guys that can carry the ball after the catch, and tackling is going to be really important.
What's going on? I appreciate you, Tranquil, hanging out with us. It's nice. I will say, if you're wondering where all these clips come from, we have boots on the ground in Las Vegas. Sam is there. He's talking with these guys. He also talked to, I see a little bit in the chat, what Nick Bosa said. I don't know. What, has he got anything about the Chiefs on there? I'm sure Nick Bosa. Nick. Screw him then. That works. Let's all boo Nick Bosa while he talks about the Lions, because this dude says the Chiefs hold a lot. Yeah, let's hear what he says about the Lions and their comeback that they had, and the Lions really choking that. But while he's talking, everybody type boo in the chat.
I think every game is a big learning experience, and especially when you have close games like that in the playoffs where you have to fight back and play your best ball when it's needed. We did play more man, and the pass rush got going a little bit, so hopefully we don't have to come back like that, but we'll be ready for anything.
I think everything's a good learning experience. I think we're getting back a Larson from it. Shut up. I don't like him. I gotta be honest. Gotta be honest. And we all know the memes about Nick Bosa. I'm not gonna say them, but we all know the memes about Nick Bosa. So, let's answer this question here. Would you like Eric Bieniemy to return to Kansas City in 2024? I know that that's what we got on the title here. Yeah, I'd say all the MVS clips, to be honest, as much as possible. Yeah. Why don't we, can we go through all those at once, or team up one by one? Huh. That works if you want to do that. All right. Let's bring on Jack on everybody. Everybody spam Jack in the chat. Spam Jack.
All right. So yesterday we played a Marquez Valdez-Scantling clip. And he was a little cocky. We got
a little.
We got 3 new clips that we did not have yesterday that just came in last night, all right? So I'm going to tee them up, and we're going to play them right now. The first one is MVS. I can't see the full name of the clip.
I got you. Which one?
It's they're the ones on overcoming adversity, and that has to do with drops. Yeah. Then we have MVS talking about
confidence even with drops.
On confidence even with drops.
Which is a wild statement.
And then we have MVS on talking about, did anyone talk to him, try to boost his confidence with all the drops and stuff like that? So we're going to play all 3 of those clips right now.
Let's go, Jack. Let's go, Jack. All right. MVS, Bud, you're making up a lot of excuses, but let's hear what he has to say.
Just staying the course, to be honest. There's going to be so many ups and downs, especially when you're coming off the Super Bowl winning season like we did the year before. We're going to get the best shot from everybody, week in and week out. And so being able to just weather the storm and keep playing through adversity, that's kind of how we've had to approach the season all year. And we're battle tested, but we came out right on top how we should be.
How much of it?
To be honest, man, like I said, my faith has never wavered, my confidence never settled. I've always believed in myself. My teammates always believed in me. We always believed in each other. Like I said, we got each other. It's not like anyone was down on me or I was down on myself. It was one drop, and it's not gonna alter my career in any way, shape, or form. It's one of those things where you obviously want to make every play, but it's impossible in this league. And obviously that play wasn't the reason why we lost, but it was the reason that could have helped us win, and I didn't make it. And so we move on and keep playing.
Where do I start? Everybody and their mother has forgiven MVS just because of what he's done in the postseason. But the problem is now he's setting himself up for high expectations in the Super Bowl, and if he drops an important pass, I think he might die. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but legitimately, oh my gosh, he's just setting himself up for a big drop and just oh, it's bad. But You know it's not bad. Our super chat. So any super chat, I get a custom Chiefs chop going. $10. We got a Mahomes jersey raffle going for the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl 58 jersey. Do we have that picture? I didn't move that over, did we? The picture of the jersey, just so we can get a better viewpoint. That one! Whoa! Look at that! Wow. I was about to say this is a Sam Loving channel, so you better be careful. You better be careful. There's the jersey though. $10 to get you a raffle entry. Listen, it only takes one. It only takes one to win this thing. $10. It's Mahomes. We can get you any size. We'll ship it to you. Obviously, $20 you're getting on the Chiefs Hall of Fame ball. But guess what? That's our deal of the day. $10 is that. So $10, you're not only going to get a raffle entry, you're going to get on the Hall of Fame ball when it comes in this weekend, hopefully. No promises. But the ball will look something like this. Look at that. We'll put your names all over that. Got a Sharpie. We'll put it on there. Our new Hall of Fame item. Used to have the Hall of Fame board. We've upgraded. We're positive channel here, making positive moves. Now we get a ball. So that's pretty cool. And obviously, Jan, the leader for the MVP custom Chiefs gear, got the custom shirt and custom water bottle. So it's a pretty nice deal there. And then obviously, $10. That's all you need. That's all you need. So we appreciate y'all. What's up, EXX Monica? Anybody y'all want to hear from? We got Creed Humphrey, got Blake Bell, Chase Young, Kyle Juszczyk. We do have some Kyle Shanahan. We have Juwan Jennings, Karloftis, Chris Jones. Who the heck is Jake Brendel? Okay. I saw that and was like, who is that? Yeah, I saw that. A lot of Jake Brendel. You want to hear from a offensive lineman for the 49ers? We got that. I know. Blake Bell has a good one. Hold on. There was one on Blake Bell that I wanted to put on here. Ooh, Travarius Ward talked about the differences of the two cultures. That should be one of the titles. Yep. Let's do Travarius Ward because he played on the Chiefs, played on the Niners now. He talked about the difference. I will say there was one quote that came out. He was asked what the differences were in the Chiefs and Niners. And it's not this one. It's not this one. But there is a quote where he said, what's it like being on the Niners compared to the Chiefs? And he said, quote, it's better. Preface, this is not this clip, but he did say that previously. Here's what he said when we asked him about the culture differences.
Both teams are great teams. Kansas City, we had a great brotherhood in Kansas City, man. I feel like we got a great brotherhood here with the 49ers. I mean, so I feel like it's two top-of-the-line organizations, man. So, I mean, I really can't give you a difference, man. But, you know, I feel like both A1 organizations for sure.
That's a lot more respectful than it's better. Calls the Chiefs A1 after he said, oh, it's better to be on the Niners. To me, that was early in media night. I feel like that was one of those of he just kind of was in the moment and just like said something that he probably didn't exactly mean, but that's what happens. It's a little McDuffie quote going. Why don't we? I know there's a couple of good McDuffie ones. That one's on the Monday, right? Let's go look at Trent McDuffie. Brock Purdy. Let's do that one. Okay. No. Was that the one? That's what it was. Just like Justin Reid. Chunk plays. That's what it was. Because Justin Reid talked about it. Safety. Now I got a quarterback talking about it. So Justin Reid. Trent McDuffie. We also asked Justin Reid about chunk plays. Now Trent McDuffie answers the question because quarterbacks are pretty much just as important in stopping chunk plays as safeties. Here's what he said.
Getting hands on the receivers, you know, disrupting the timing. And just making it hard for them to get open, you know. We know that Brock Purdy can scramble. We know he can make plays, extend plays with his feet. And so just outworking the receivers are going to be huge for us.
I think this Chiefs defense is ready. I think all these clips we're showing, they're very calm. They're very collective. And McDuffie kind of very quickly said, like, hey, they're a challenging defense, but we got to be prepared for it. And I think they will be. So we'll see. But I do know one thing. The offense, they had a little bit of a surprise come out today. about a certain coach being in the locker room before the AFC Championship game. So we're going to tell you about that, but it involves this guy, Eric Bieniemy. So we're going to our second segment here about Eric Bieniemy potentially returning to the Kansas City Chiefs because it's hot. I'm going to tell you something right now. It is burning hot. If their rumors were on fire, they would be blue. That's how hot they were. So we appreciate you. Let's get into it. Eric Bieniemy on potentially returning to the Kansas City Chiefs. We have all that right here on the Chiefs Report. So without further ado, let's get going. Report: Eric Bieniemy could be returning to the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, oh man. We talked about this earlier in the year, but it has gotten absolutely lit on fire with a recent report. We'll tell you what that is right here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jace. But before I get into why this is a thing, do you want him back? Do you want Bieniemy to come back as the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, or at least in some capacity? Well, then do me a favor. If you do, like the video. I'm curious to see. Liking it tells me that you want Bieniemy back. So get down there. It takes a couple seconds. Hit that like button. I'd certainly appreciate it, as we know who wants Bieniemy back and who doesn't. Here's the report. Pete Sweeney broke it this morning, saying, Andy Reid says Eric Bieniemy came in and talked to the offensive players ahead of the AFC Championship. This was approved by the Washington Commanders because he was not fired yet. Now he's obviously not on the Commanders. He's a free agent offensive coordinator or coach in whatever way that would be. But this was just wild, and I think we sit here and say, it worked. The Chiefs scored 17 points, and that was enough. That's all they needed. Granted that I think they could have scored more. They played really kind of seldom throughout the entire second half of the game, but they didn't have to really force anything. They didn't have to force the agenda. And when they did, guess what? MVS caught a 34-yard pass. They know what to do. So what exactly is happening? Why was he in the locker room? What did he say? All that. Well, good news. James Palmer on NFL Network today talked about it and gave us some interesting insight into the whole breakdown and ordeal of Mr. Bieniemy coming into the Chiefs locker room. Here's what it was. The night before the AFC title game in Baltimore, my understanding is he drove up, went to the team hotel, and met with the offensive side of the ball. Now, there was a play up that they were going over, and Eric Bieniemy went up, and it was an old play. Kind of went through the install with the entire offensive group for old time's sake. Mahomes told us there were kind of different. There were kind of some chill bumps with guys in that room with EB back in front of them. Mahomes said you could feel him. You could feel his presence, and when he is in a room, I had a long conversation with MBS about EB, and he told me last year there may have been times where you tuned him out a little bit with all the yelling. This is wild. He was in their pregame stuff, talking about what is going on, how do we run a play, and he went up and told them and basically coached them in a way. I do want to preface again, he was on the Commander's staff at this point. He is not anymore, but they gave him approval to do this. He was there. He was really, in some ways, coaching the Kansas City Chiefs at the time. Wild, first of all, and the best part is that was just the beginning. People talked more about this rumors and how it could potentially lead to a potential coaching job with the Chiefs in 2024. Now, obviously, his yelling was a big part of him, and, well, MVS had more to say, saying he yells at everyone from Andy Reid down to the janitor. But when he was back in that room that night, kind of got the feeling that I missed it, and it took it maybe for granted. I bring this all up because remember the issue that the Chiefs team had at this point of the season, whether they were pre-snap penalties or lineman issues. And I had a number of people late in the season in the building tell me that their thoughts, if EB was in the room, some of those things, the attention to detail type stuff, wouldn't happen. So having him maybe back in the building before the AFC Championship game, maybe that little bit of restart, a bit of knowledge he brought in may have fine-tuned things heading into the Super Bowl. Wow. Listen, I'm going to be quite honest with y'all. When we had that first video talking about Eric Bieniemy, I thought it was kind of a slim shot he returned just because I figured the Commanders would keep him. I figured he would go somewhere else. There's no more offensive coordinator jobs, or at least there is very few. And, well, the Chiefs could potentially bring him back in some sort of way. Would you like to see him back, though, in a Kansas City Chiefs shirt? I want you to type Y for yes if you want him back in 2024. If you like what you've got and we've seen it, or here back in the Super Bowl, you don't need him, then I want you to type in for no. I'm curious to see what everyone thinks. Now, whether you think yes or whether you think no, make sure you're getting your money in on Prize Picks by getting a $100 deposit match by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS and using the code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America, and they are the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. I'm 6 of my last 8, so go tail me on this one. I've got the more on Patrick Mahomes on a half a passing yard. That's a deal. They're putting up 99% off his total. Yeah, I'm going to take that. Isaiah Pacheco, more than a half a rushing or receiving a touchdown. He's scored in every single playoff game of the state. I see him scoring again. And then McCaffrey. We've talked about receiving backs and how much of an issue they've been for the Chiefs all season. McCaffrey is probably the creme de la creme of that, so I expect him to get way more than 35.5. I'd probably say 40. Now, rushing the ball, maybe the Chiefs are able to hold him, but we will see. Go put these in and get your $100 deposit match by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS and using that code CLNS. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this season has been the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports, and if you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Prize Picks offers a bunch of promotions just like that Patrick Mahomes one, so make sure you're checking them out, like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts a select player's projection of up to 25% to provide even more value. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types. That's what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS for that first deposit match of up to $100. Shout out to Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. Bieniemy and Nagy comparison. Listen, I don't want to sit here and talk bad about Nagy because we are in the Super Bowl, but the stats just don't lie. The yards per game, down by almost 70, actually over 70. The rushing yards per game, down by 10. The passing yards per game, down by 30 plus. The points per game, down. The wins, down by a win. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that Matt Nagy's bad, and I guess he was in the beginning part of the year. But Eric Bieniemy is just, in my opinion, so much farther above in just the way he connects with the team. And we talked about it earlier this year, and obviously I think it's kind of gone by the wayside given the Chiefs have had recent success with the offense and are back in the Super Bowl and all of this. But Mahomes has showed frustration with the coaching and the play calling throughout the season. Obviously, the pinnacle of that was the Raiders game, where he was really pissed off. Everything was going wrong. He had back-to-back plays where, in some facet, he was a part of a turnover, one of them being a scoop and score, one of them being a pick six. So just a lot of things have gone wrong. And I think EB almost like grounds this team. Mahomes had a quote about this earlier in the season, and he said this about Eric Bieniemy. EB is going to be harsh on you. He's going to really try to get the best out of you every single day. He's going to hold you accountable whenever you don't even want to hold yourself accountable, and it made me a better player. Listen, get him back. If it makes Patrick Mahomes a better player to have him around, then what in the world are we doing? This should be an easy decision. Go there and get him back. This offense may not have had the issues it had. The penalties that Jawan Taylor had. The penalties that Donovan Smith had. The penalties that this entire offense had could have all been avoided if Eric Bieniemy was still with the team. So, I asked the question, the confidence. Is it up with Bieniemy? Is it down? If Bieniemy is back with the Chiefs in 2024, I want you to scale your confidence ring in the Chiefs team potentially being right back in this spot next year in Super Bowl 59. Scale it from 1 to 10, 1 being least confident, 10 being most confident. I'm curious to see what y'all think. Let's talk more about this Bieniemy stuff and how exactly it could work into being with the Chiefs. Arrowhead Act, a nice little Chiefs reporting website, talked about it saying, as of right now, Reid also said that Bieniemy is in the running for a couple of unfilled jobs. But it's also not difficult to see Reid trying to provide cover for an old friend who could use a place to land, at least for a bit. I want him back. I got to be honest. I know that Matt Nagy has gotten this Chiefs to the Super Bowl, but was it really him? I think that's the question we all have to ask ourselves. Was it really Matt Nagy who got the Chiefs here, or was it the Chiefs? I kind of think it was the Chiefs. The thing is, though, if that happens, what do you do with Nagy? Dude got you to the Super Bowl, and you're going to fire him? I mean, I don't know if that's what you want to do. Now, the thing is, what are you going to do, demote him? I don't think Matt Nagy is going to stay with the Chiefs if he's demoted to quarterbacks coach, whatever. That just doesn't seem like a fair play for him, which I completely understand. I mean, I wouldn't want to stay if I was demoted, so why would he stay? The hardest part about this is, like, when we talked about it last time, the Chiefs had a potential to be a first-round exit. Now you're in the Super Bowl for the second year. You're back here. You could win it for a second year in a row. Are you firing Matt Nagy after that? Well, let me hear it, James Keenum. We firing Matt Nagy after you get to the Super Bowl. Type F for fire. Type K for keep. I'm curious to see what Chiefs Kingdom thinks. If you're firing Matt Nagy, even though the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, or are you keeping him because the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl? Wow. I do know this, though. We're going to have everything you want and more right here on the Chiefs Report all weekend long. We have a live watch party at 3:30 p.m. Central Time coming up on Sunday. And I'm telling you, coverage galore is right here on Chiefs Report. We've got exclusive interviews. We're going to have more shows coming out throughout the next coming couple days. So I know that you got a lot of choices for your Chiefs options and Chiefs coverage. You're in the right place. Hit that sub button, and as always, Chiefs Kingdom, peace out. Are we firing Matt Nagy? Kind of wild. Kind of wild if we're firing him. I wouldn't be like, I'm not going to say like I'm denying that. But like, Tony Fuentes is firing him. Jan's firing. Krispy Kreme is firing. Demon Angel's firing him. Harrison covers the Bears now, CJ. He's not willing. He's not what people think. He did nothing in Chicago. I agree, Krispy Kreme. Everywhere he's gone, he's kind of just like gone down. He didn't like nothing in Chicago he did help. So, I don't know, man. It's just, he did nothing in Chicago. Kind of wild. Jack knows that from firsthand experience. Good gosh. Nagy was just, I just don't know how he got the job with the Chiefs. I know that him and Reid are buddies, but I just don't get it. I don't get it, bro. It's kind of wild. Kind of wild. Let's pop that super chat menu up there. Anybody wants to get on that super chat, you're going to custom Chiefs chat. $10. We got a Mahomes jersey raffle. I won't tell them all, CJ Cole. I appreciate it. $20 usually gets you on the Hall of Fame ball, but today our deal, $10. It's the only time this entire month to get on it. And this Hall of Fame ball is going to be in rotation throughout the entire offseason most likely. So if you want to get on it for $10 left, half off, today's your day. $10 will write your name right on there. MVP, you're going to get custom Chiefs gear. Right now, that's Jan Rockefeller. She sits at $140. And then Wallace Stone is right below her at $110. So if you want to jump in on that, always would appreciate it. We do have some more quotes, some more interviews to get to. So if you want to get in here and let us know, who do you want to hear from next? Type C for Creed Humphrey. Type G for George Karloftis. Who do you want to hear from? Who do you want to hear from? Let's see what we got here. Creed from D-Man and Tony. Looks like a lot of Creed. Let's go find a good clip of Creed. Ready. Chase. You want to do the Tooney mentorship quote? I think that's a good one, since Tooney probably won't play. So, Creed did talk about how Joe Tooney has kind of been a mentor to him, been able to kind of grow the knowledge, obviously being right next to him. And now Creed Humphrey, in my opinion, probably the best center in the National Football League, with Jason Kelsey retired, not retired. I don't really know what's going on. I think he's probably coming back at this point. But still, I still think that overall Creed Humphrey is one of the best centers in the National Football League, maybe the best, especially without Kelsey on there. So that's for sure. But Joe Tooney, unfortunately, looking like he's not going to play. Has the whole injury issue going down, and well, we'll see what happens. They did give him a quote unquote I forget what it was called. They said it was. Do you remember what they said? Andy Reid said something. Long shot. That was the quote. I was like, he said something specific. It was a long shot for him to play. Jeff Unruh. Matt Nagy was the OC for Mahomes' first season. A starter, 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. That's how he got the Bears head coaching job. Correct. But was it really him? or was it Mahomes? I think it was Mahomes. And Tyreek Hill. And Travis Kelce. I don't think it was anything Nagy did. But I do agree that is why he got the Bears job. Players give coaches jobs at this point. I think that's the thing you take away from that. So that'll be interesting. But Creed Humphrey, Joe Tooney talking about kind of what's going on. So Creed got to talk to Joe, gonna get some mentorship and what he's been to him throughout his career. Let's hear from him on this.
Yeah, Joe did a great job taking me and Trey under his wing. We had some really good veterans our rookie year that showed us the ropes, showed us what we needed to do, and can't say enough about Joe, man. He's a warrior. He's awesome to be around. He makes everybody around him better.
Joe Tooney, man, I'm glad he's probably going to be there. He'll help out with all that stuff, but it just sucks he's not going to be able to play. It just sucks. He would have been first of all, he deserves to play. Second of all, he's a big part of that offensive line that has really protected Patrick Mahomes. Only 2 sacks the entire postseason. You want to know that game that he got sacked twice in? Yeah, that'd be the Ravens game that Joe Tooney did not play in. You want to know one of those sacks where it came from? Yeah, that'd be Nick Allegretti, his replacement. Not crapping on Allegretti at all. I think he's a great lineman. And to come in there and play as well as he did is still great, but still, kind of stinks. Krispy Kreme's got G for George Karlaftis. We got B from Tony Fuentes, so need a little bit of a tiebreaker here. We want Blake Bell, we want George Karlaftis. Who are we hearing from next? We got a tie, G and B. Tony's just going to keep spamming B, and we're going to have to do Blake Bell. Ristner says B. Okay, so Blake Bell wins. There's one I saw on him. He talked about his role if Travis Kelce can't go, but I don't even know what that means. That's what I thought. I was confused. Yeah. Well, that's what I would listen to. I was like, okay, I kind of see what you're going for here. Literally that Blake Bell on his role if Travis Kelce can't go. So I was like, oh. And I listened to that earlier. I was like, what in the world? This is interesting. Here it is, his role, the depth chart, the tight ends. They're a group. I'm not going to lie. I think the tight ends for the Chiefs are really, really good. Honestly, their depth chart is something else. So let's hear on Blake Bell and what his role is if Kelce needs a break or whatever that is.
It could be me and Noah. So anytime Trav's not out there, one of us is going to go in. And like I was telling everybody, Noah's been doing a great job. And it's been special to watch him and how good he's been. And he continues to get better and better since he got here his rookie year. Anytime Trav needs a breather or something, we'll be ready to roll for him.
Listen, no crap on Blake Bell here. I hope we don't see much of him on Sunday. I like Noah Gray. I like Travis Kelce. I like Blake Bell. I like Gray and Kelce a little more. Also, Blake Bell, not going to lie, went to Oklahoma. I've got the brightest orange in my veins, so I do not like that. So we'll say that. Let's get a question in here. Why not? Hashtag Chiefs if you want to get on the show. Carl Bailey asked this one. Is there any real possibility Brock outplays Patrick? I mean, yes, in terms of stats. No, in terms of everything else, I don't think. I don't want to eat my words here because, people thought that Tom Brady was old and that Patrick Mahomes was going to way outplay him in Super Bowl, what was that, 53? So, that didn't happen. Or 50, not 50, no, what the heck? Super Bowl 55 in 2020, that's what it was. And that didn't happen. Tom Brady played better. Now, the offensive line for the Chiefs was buns, but, still happened. So, I think there's a way. I think if Brock Purdy's out playing Patrick, one of two things happened. The Chiefs demolished the Niners so bad that they benched Patrick, or it's a close game and Brock wins it. Kind of the way it is. Demon Angels, a question, says, do you think all injured players will be at the Super Bowl supporting the team? Yes. I know that for a fact because I know McKinnon got off the plane. He was there. So even if he can't go, he'll be there. Joe Tooney was there. Brian Cook, that's the one question. Omenahue's there at the Super Bowl. I know that he's there. Did we ever interview Omenahue? I don't think we did. Gotcha. I was about to say, I remember hearing about him because this stinks for Omenahue. He played for freaking both teams, and now he doesn't get to do that. So unfortunate. But he's there. Brian Cook, that's the only one I don't know about because he got injured in the Packers game, and he's been watching all the games at home. But it's a little different with Super Bowl. I wonder if they may let him come out there or what's going on with that. But as of right now, that's kind of what I think will be that. Tony Fuentes, the question saying, is there a high possibility for Eric B to return to KC? Yes. I think the fact that he talked to them in the AFC Championship game, oh my gosh. Like that is, you cannot tell me that there's not a hotter rumor than that. Now, will it be as offensive coordinator? I don't know. Will it be as a running backs coach, something like that? 100%. I could easily see him coming back as like a running backs coach or something. That's kind of the job he's interviewing for now. I don't know what will happen, though. I got to be honest. I'm kind of like on the border. I think Eric Bieniemy could come back. I think it's probably a high possibility he does come back, especially if there's no other jobs that get him. But from what we've heard from Andy Reid, if there's a job that wants him, he'll probably take that over the Chiefs just because it makes a little more sense for him. But that's what it is. If you want to get in our Super Chat stuff today, we got a cool deal going on. $10 you're going to get on the Hall of Fame ball. Going to look a little something like this. We'll write your name on there. Whoop. Write your name on something like this. We're going to have it, the actual one coming in on Tuesday. I know Jan's going to have her name on there. I know Wallace Stone is going to have his name on there. I know Jay Berg is going to have his name on there. You could put your name on there with just $10. It also gets you a raffle ticket for the Mahomes jersey raffle, the Super Bowl 58 jersey. Nice little Super Bowl patch on here. It's an expensive jersey, and you $10 can get a raffle ticket to get in there to potentially win it. You only need one. Past couple raffles, we've had some people with pretty low amounts of tickets win the actual raffle. So you only need one. I'm telling you, go get some in there. $10, you get on the Hall of Fame ball, and you get a raffle. So pretty good. Pretty good. Who you got in the Super Bowl? Chiefs or Niners? KC or San Francisco? Kind of curious. Type those KCs. Cole, LCJ Cole. Type in the KC. Let's go. Tommy L. Watson. What's up, man? So I've seen you in the chat. Tony Fuentes. Jeff Unraw. We haven't won a coin toss in a long time. LOL, I think we received 2 half. Hoping Jones and Karlaftis can go for at least 5 sacks. I hope so, man. I hope so. Tony saying Chiefs 30, San Francisco 28. Riston Costner. Nice job, KC's. Paul Amos from Tonganoxie. Skiing Rhinos. Or King Rhino. What am I saying? Gabriel Renarosto. Who's San Francisco? That's right. Who are they? No one cares about them. They're the team, though. Jan Rockefeller typing KC. Let's go. Let's go. Demon Angels typing KC. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Appreciate it. Got some more clips if you want to listen to them. Thinking about who we haven't done. We've got a Brock Purdy quote. It's short. Brock Purdy for short. Montana and Young. Just about. It's not really anything that would really kind of go on to here. Huh? Not bad. Let's hear from the opposing quarterback. Why not? Talked about his, as Chase would put it, tutorship, tutelage. Brock Purdy and Joe Montana. It's what he's getting compared to at this point with the way he's played. So, I did see that wide negative. Sky Moore has to be activated though because his 21-day practice window is open. So, let's listen to Brock Purdy though and his tutelage with Joe Montana.
Brock, so many quarterbacks come into the league and they're really talented, but they go to organizations that might lack stability. You get to come to San Francisco and you have a good owner in Jed York, really good general manager in John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, and a lot of weapons, but also a rich history with great quarterbacks in Joe Montana as well as Steve Young. What's it meant for you to land here? Obviously, it's taken some luck, and how has the history of the Niners organization propelled you to have this early success and put you on the right path?
Yeah, exactly what you said is true. You know, we got such a great organization. Obviously, from the ownership down, John Lynch, Kyle, to the team that we have. For me as a quarterback coming into the league, it's been a blessing to have such a great supporting cast around me. Obviously, the keys weren't just given to me or anything; it had to be earned. And I've come in day one just obviously trying to learn Kyle's system, his playbook, and earn the respect of my teammates. And then over time, I've been able to step into that role and be ready for my opportunity. And but yeah, at the same time, man, I have a lot of help around me, and it's allowed me to develop, and I'm going to continue to develop with the help and the cast that I have around me. So more than anything, I'm grateful for it, and there's a lot more room for me to grow.
What's the tutelage of Joe Montana and Steve Young done for you?
Can you say it again?
What's the tutelage of Joe Montana and Steve Young done for you as a young player?
Yeah, I mean, obviously just what they've done, for this organization, the history. For me as a quarterback, it's like, all right, there's obviously some big shoes to fill, and I'm not going to compare myself to them or anything, but, they've set the standard for winning in this organization. When you look at the 49er logo, you think of success and Super Bowls because of those guys. So that's, something that I have in the back of my mind, like, all right, there's a standard here. And then at the same time, when I talk to them, they've been so great to me and supporting me and everything. And when you talk to them, when you're in their presence, you're obviously in the presence of greatness. They got the job done, and so definitely makes you think like, all right, let's step it up, and obviously let's live up to the standard that they set.
Brock Purdy, opposing quarterback. Listen, you're getting compared and tutored by Joe Montana. I don't care what you say. You've done well, so that's something. I'm really excited to see what happens because, I know Mahomes is better, but I know that the weapons that the Niners have are probably better than the Chiefs. I mean, it's hard to argue with. I think Pacheco is getting close to the level of McCaffrey. I think that just Debo and Ayuk and Kittle, when you combine everybody, it's just kind of hard to compare them in some ways. But the Chiefs have still, in my opinion, and probably will be, I think, the better team. I think just overall, their coaching, their quarterback, everything just kind of folds together. And plus, to me, the Chiefs' defense is by far the best in the National Football League. They shut down the Ravens, and I hope they shut down the Niners too. And even Patrick Mahomes, he kind of talked about it yesterday, just how good this defense is, and honestly, how lucky he feels to have them. So why don't we roll that clip of Patrick Mahomes talking about this amazing defense.
Yeah, it has to. I mean, whenever you have a defense playing at this level, whenever you have some of those opportunities where you might have taken that chance in the past, you don't. You go to the check down or you go to the next read because you know that your defense, even if it doesn't work out, is going to get a stop and get you the ball back. And I think I've learned that about playing the quarterback position is you have to be the best quarterback for your team. You can't be just the best quarterback or the best stats or whatever it is. You have to find a way to win the football game, and that's what I'll try to do this year.
The Chiefs' defense is good. I think that no one can deny that. And Patrick Mahomes has known that all year they've been able to kind of lift this team up and overall just kind of elevate this team to what they are now, a Super Bowl caliber team, a team that's in the Super Bowl and ultimately I think is the better shot to win. I know they're not favored, and I think the Niners are probably the team that would probably go in here with more confidence. But overall, I think the Chiefs, they just have more experience. Now, I say experience because the next guy we're going to show, Javon Hargrave, who actually played with the Eagles last year. And, he has a chance to do something that maybe nobody else on the planet has done the past years. Lose to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl twice. Here's what he talked about when asked about playing in back-to-back Super Bowls.
Not a lot of players can say they've been to Super Bowls in back-to-back years. Have you taken a moment to kind of sit back and reflect on what this journey's been like for you?
Yeah, I've definitely had 2 long seasons, so I definitely thank God every day for giving me this opportunity. But, man, I just want to win it now.
Jake Brendel on the Chiefs defense is the next clip we're going to go with. But it'd be pretty funny. You play with 2 different teams, you lose to the Chiefs twice. Patrick Mahomes effect, man. Patrick Mahomes effect. I think the trench war is also going to be huge because, the offensive line, the defensive line for both teams, pretty high caliber. I think the Chiefs' defensive line, although they don't have a Minihue, They won't have Noddy. Still very good. The 49ers defensive line, Bosa, Young, they know what they're doing. And then on top of which, you have the offensive lines who have been really, really good this season. Chiefs giving up the second least amount of sacks. The Niners giving up the sixth least amount of sacks. You guys talk with one of the linemen, Jake Brindall, on basically the Chiefs offense in some ways, and the Chiefs defense.
Yeah, I mean, Jones is a great player, and he can really ruin a game for you. So we've got to make sure we have a plan for him. They have a great secondary. They have a great linebacker core. I feel like all around they're a solid group, and you just got to make sure that you play into our strengths, but also play into their weaknesses when it comes to this game.
The respect is there on both sides. I think it's very clear, trench war, not trench war, whatever. Everybody knows what's happening. And I think overall, this is going to be a good Super Bowl. I sit here and I want to put my Chiefs colored glasses on. I want to say that they're going to demolish the Niners. But I just think this is going to be a good game. In some ways, though, I will say this might be like one of those boring, big good games, if that makes sense. Where correct, defensive, kind of slow moving. And then there will be a quarter will just fly by. There's just overall there's a part of me that thinks that this game could be over super quickly, even though it's the Super Bowl. So we'll see. But just like Javon Hargrave and how he's been to 2 Super Bowls, George Karlaftis, first 2 years, he's been to back-to-back Super Bowls. So he talked about kind of what was going on and why this one could mean a little bit more than last year's to him.
That's how everyone is, man. That's how everyone is. And, me just having won one last year, I'm just so much hungrier to win this one. It's a unique feeling.
Obviously, Super Bowl means a lot, but winning back-to-back would be cool. Him and Pacheco kind of have that same kind of mentorship. But I think this defense, we can talk about Karlaftis, we can talk about Jones, we can talk about McDuffie, we can talk about all these people. But overall, we know that this all stems from Coach Spags. And, Jack, I think there's a quote, Karlaftis on Coach Spags. Should be in there. But, man, I think he's really the reason the Chiefs have elevated themselves to this defense, I think is the best way to say that. Because they think they always had this in them, but Coach Spags was just kind of able to, in some ways, make it happen this year. And that's what they've kind of been waiting for. And, Coach Spags has been working with these young guys, and obviously last year's draft, great draft. They got guys like Leo Chenal, like George Karlaftis, like Trent McDuffie 2 years ago. Sorry, not last year, 2 years ago. And they've really grown into great players. Honestly, that's the really core of this defense. I mean, you talk about the core is probably 4 guys. I would say L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, Chris Jones, and George Karlaftis. Obviously, Nick Bolton in there as well, but Leo Chenal has kind of paid his ins already. Drew Tranquill. Lots of good things, but there's one thing in common, and that is Coach Spags. George Karlaftis got to mention a little bit about what Coach Spags has meant to this team and why he has been such a big deal.
Absolutely. I think with Spags, it all starts about how much he cares about the guys, man. We could see that he truly cares about us. He loves us. He's like a father figure, if you will. And it starts with that, he's a man that instills faith in our defense, just trusting in one another, and everything goes from there. But, we love Spags. We love playing for Spags. His game plan, and what the stuff he's able to dial up speaks for itself. But, he's just a great human being. I'd have to say that before anything else.
And the funny part is Coach Spags is not getting looked at by anybody for a head coaching job. He wasn't. There's no head coaching jobs left, obviously, but no one was wanting to interview him. No one wanted to. How? I understand he had some trouble as a head coach, and, maybe they just have given up on that facet of his career, but I like him. I want him to stay with the Chiefs. Honestly, in some ways, he's old, but I don't know, man. It'd be kind of crazy because Coach Spags just taking over for Andy Reid. Say he retires, or you do hire Bill Belichick. Oh, that's funny. I will say we talked a little bit about the practice field conditions. If you don't know what's happening, the Niners complained about their whole practice field, which they practiced today. Do we know what happened with all that? So I'm assuming that that's what happened. I don't know if they just practiced there or not. We'll try and get some info from our Vegas friends and have that for tomorrow. But, the day that the Niners complained about practice being on a field that they didn't like, the Chiefs practiced in pads for the first time in a long time. So, wusses, Chiefs. Let's hear what George Karlaftis said about that whole ordeal.
Oh, it was great. Usually you put on the pads once a week, so it felt weird. It's almost like, it's been a while. So it felt great to do that yesterday.
What was kind of the message to you guys? I knew you guys knew last week you were going to put them on Monday, but what was kind of the message of why that was important to have yesterday?
I mean, for me, I just kind of do what I'm told within this organization. But we did that last year, and I think it's great to do that just, to get back into that. You don't want to go too long without those pads on. The hitting part of it, it's not the same without the pads. So it's definitely important to do that, and I love how we do that. This in the Super Bowl routine.
What the hell am I saying? George Karlaftis has been a big part of this defense and just kind of being able to construct what it's been able to do. But I think that also goes to the youth and the way that they've been able to go that. So obviously the pads is I feel like that was in some ways kind of like a knock on the Niners, like, oh, you're mad about your practice field? We're going to practice in pads. How about that? But the youth on this defense is pretty big. Chris Jones was asked kind of what that exactly means and why it's huge on this Chiefs defense.
I think it has a lot to do with coaching and the development of players, but also the leaders in the group. The coaching kind of puts the blueprint in front of the leaders, and the leaders kind of execute it. So I always say that you're only as good as your last player on defense, and we don't really have a bad guy on defense. I think everybody is honed in and trusting in each other and believing in each other, and it's been about progression all year. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So you got a guy like Chamari, who really haven't had an opportunity to start because we got Andy Reid, and Brian Cook went down, asked Chamari to step up and play rookie year, and he came up big for us in a lot of big games. So
I am kind of impressed here just because, listen, I want to keep Chris Jones, but the youth is just incredible. George Karlaftis, Trent McDuffie, Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson. That's what it is. Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson. I don't know. There's Judson Watson, the receiver. It's just kind of wild. The way that this entire team is just the youth. It's something that is to be excited about. What's also being excited about our super chat menu. Want to get in on here? We have a $10 raffle for the Mahomes Super Bowl 58 jersey. And if you did that, today's daily deal, $10 to get on the Hall of Fame ball. So you get on our Hall of Fame ball. And then you get to also be on our jersey raffle. So pretty good deal there. Plus our MVP is going to get the custom Chiefs gear. Jan Rockefeller on top right now with 140. So she is the leader for that MVP. And the custom Chiefs shirt and the custom Chiefs water bottle. You can also super chat just anything to get on the show. We'll put you up there. We'll chant your name. We'll have a good time. You get a little custom Chiefs chop. So we appreciate anybody. But obviously, you're watching. You're hanging out with us. That's just as important. So we appreciate y'all kind of hanging out with us. Speaking of which, is there anybody that y'all want to see? We've got some more Blake Bell quotes. We've got some Chase Young quotes. Chase Young, Chris Jones, Creed Humphrey, talked about on them. Talked about MBS. Also have Travarius Ward, talked to him. Chris Jones, Deebo Samuel on the culture. Fred Warner on the culture. I'll tell you what. Why don't we do the Harrison Butker kick, talking about Jake Moody, and then we can kind of start winding down here on the Chiefs report. So, Butker kind of gave some advice to first-year kicker Jake Moody, who has struggled, and well, let's see what he had to say.
Kicking in a Super Bowl is nothing new to you. On the other sideline, Jake Moody's a rookie. He's missed a couple of kicks in the playoffs. From one kicker to another, what would be your big game advice to Moody?
I think you just got to stay within yourself and trust the process, trust what you've been doing. Don't try to change it up for the Super Bowl. And at the end of the day, it's still a football game. And I know there's a lot of fans at the game and watching on TV, but just treat it like you have been for all the other games of the season.
The best kicker in the NFL and Jake Moody. This is going to be a fun one. This is not the same thing. Jake Moody has had a struggle bus of a year. Not going to lie. I think he was a great kicker, but it's different in the NFL. The posts are a little slimmer, pressure's a little higher. You're getting paid to kick a ball. You better be good at it. You better be good. I say this, it's tough because two of my best friends from high school are kickers, and I would love for them to be in the NFL, but I don't think you should draft a kicker. I just don't think that ever works. It's never worked. But hey, I mean, Jake Moody's in the Super Bowl, so work for something. We got one on Nick Bolton on the, he said Nick Bolton on the 49ers offense. Talked about them. Let's kind of hear that. We've kind of shown you this one before, but I think it's a good quote to kind of maybe kind of start winding down on. So Nick Bolton talking about the 49ers offense.
Kyle Shanahan's offense likes to run a lot of crossers. Brock Purdy likes to target the middle area of the field. What types of challenges do they present offensively for you defensively at linebacker?
Yeah, man, they score a lot of them, man. A lot of misdirection, a lot of eye candy, a lot of pushing out motion shifts. Things kind of make you feel a little bit, make you be more reactive than going down relative physical. So it's going to take all 11, man. It's not going to be just one individual stuff, man. Intermediate routes, put a lot of too high. So it's stopping these guys. So it's going to be a little bit of everybody, man.
I love this Chiefs defense a lot. I think that is because of the confidence they've shown in every clip we've had. Trent McDuffie, Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, Justin Reed, Nick Bolton. You can all just kind of like sense that they're calmly confident. They're not cocky, but they just they know the challenge at hand. They know it's going to be a tough one, but they're confident in themselves. They're confident in their abilities. And they're confident in Coach Spags to really lead them to a, hopefully, Super Bowl ring for back-to-back years, which, listen, you can call the Chiefs what you want. They're a dynasty. If they win this game, that makes even more of it, but I think even if they lose, they're still a dynasty. But, hey, I don't think they're going to lose. So type those KCs, baby. Type those KCs. And let's get one more question in here. Demon Angels, saw you asked one. Which team do you think will either get in front, or go from behind to win the game? Which team? I say the Chiefs, regardless of the situation. So here's kind of been my quote. If it's a blowout, the Chiefs will be the one blowing the team out. I do not see the Chiefs ever getting blown out. That just doesn't happen. If it's a close game, I think the Niners either win on a later touchdown, and then their defense stops the Chiefs' offense. But I also could see the Chiefs' offense really kind of making a last-second ditch effort to win the game. So I think if it's a blowout, it's definitely the Chiefs. If there's somebody coming from behind, I say it'll be the Chiefs if it's a come-from-behind victory. The reason I say that, and this is not a knock on Niners, it's the Chiefs saw what the Niners did to the Lions. They were down by 17, and yet guess what? The Niners won. That's not going to happen 2 games in a row. That's just that. Like, if the Chiefs get up by more than 10, they're going to step on the throat of the Niners and just put them down to the ground. That's how it's going to be. So I would say if it's come from behind victory, it's the Chiefs. If it's a stay out in front, maybe it's the Niners. They score late. Either way, I kind of see this just being a close game. I don't think it's like any of that. I will say, if it happens to be a blowout, it's the Chiefs blowing them out. There's no way that the Chiefs get blown out, at least in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see. We will be live for it, though. We'll be live here right on the Chiefs Report at 3:30 p.m. Central Time. So make sure you join us on Sunday. We appreciate hanging out with you all day today. Shout out to Jack. We'll be here tomorrow doing a bunch more stuff, having a lot more content for you. So make sure you're hanging out with us. And if you're curious about NBA stuff, we have an NBA trade deadline stream tomorrow. Jack's going to be there producing that stream on our main channel, so go check that out. But for the Super Bowl, we'll be right here on Sunday, and we'll be live tomorrow around 4 p.m. Central Time. So we hope to see you there. But for now, Chiefs Kingdom, peace out.